Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to your weekly web show that serves up the juiciest discussions in the world of Web3 and gaming culture, the Block Sauce. Today we have a bit of a different panel for you guys, so we're going to change things up, but stick around and just be prepared because these guests, I'm really excited to have them. I'm so thankful they took time out of their day to join us. So I will see you guys in just a second. Let's go.
No.
What is up? Welcome back, sauce enthusiasts. It's time to bring the heat with another electrifying episode of the Block Sauce. I'm thrilled to introduce our guest today. We have Ryus. God, he just corrected me, and I still did it. Ryus. See, I got it. Okay, we're good. But how are you doing today, Ryus? Go ahead and tell us a bit about yourself, what you're working on.
Yeah, I'm doing good. Thank you so much for having me on. So I love
that. I saw her. I'm sorry.
With the bang. No, it's all good. HNY to everyone, right? That's how we come in. We come in hot, and we come in with. We're just trying to make sure everybody's like paying attention. So that's all good. So what am I doing, man? I'm actually leading gaming partnerships at Magic Labs.
Ooh.
Yeah. So if anybody knows Magic Labs, you can go to magic.link. We're a leader in the Web3 wallet as a service solution. Mm-hmm. We have right now we have 25 million plus wallets that we've disseminated out into the wild. Our goal and mission is to have everyone have a Web3 wallet. What is a Web3 wallet? It's just a digital bank account, if you want to think of it that way.
So every time I go to sign into a game and it's like, oh, click the magic link, that's you guys.
Well, we're predominantly there. We try to make sure we're in the back end so nobody knows who we are, because we don't want to be like magic. It's just white label all of our stuff. Yeah.
So we also have Naz with us. So I am a bit familiar with Naz. He is the co-founder of both ReNFT and Rumble Kong League, correct?
Correct.
What you up to?
What, specifically today or generally?
Right. About yourself? Like jump into it.
Yeah, sure. So at the very moment, the most exciting thing that we have going on is the C4 audit, which I invite every auditor, every shadow hacker, super coder to check out the C4 website and follow the ReNFT in there. There's only, I believe, 2 or 3 contests running live at the very moment, and I'm a little biased, but we're probably the most exciting one. We have a lot of cool tech merged into the protocol that we have just developed that I think will truly be groundbreaking for rentals. We've been working on this for quite a while, 3 years, and we've went through a lot of iterations, and this is truly the most exciting thing that we've built so far. Let me clarify, this is rentals for NFTs, not in your common sense where like NFTFi or Arcade, right, where you have an NFT and you have that as a collateral and you want to get some money for that and basically use that and pay interest on that. This is not that. This is different. This is where you actually unlock the use cases of the underlying NFT. So recall we had like Dookie Dash or the other side game, right? And there were a lot of people, for example, paying to actually boost the scores on their Bored Apes and their mutants in that sewer thing game. And so sorry, I'm not like not a thing. It was a great game. It's just I'm saying that because I didn't rank very well. I didn't boost myself. But so like this protocol would allow for that, and not just like a specific few games that like are that we partner with. This is a truly permissionless and collateral-free protocol. So I'm very excited. I don't think this has been done before. This is very, very exciting. So if you're out there, if you want to see how this is done on the smart contracts level, then check out our C4 audit.
100%. And if you're living under a rock and you're not following us on YouTube, what are you doing? But we have Patrick with us from Moonlit Games. We have interviewed Patrick before here on the show. Again, go check our YouTube video, go find out more about their game, but he is working on Rogue Nations. How are you doing today, Patrick?
Doing great, doing great. Thank you for having me back. Yeah, just building away in the actual winter. Now that it's looking a little sunnier in crypto land, it's like springtime. Yeah, so actually been working over the holidays to bring a new set of features to the game. It's our final release of pre-alpha. And what we'll get is just a whole new set of cosmetics, store that you can go and spend your soft and hard currencies that you earn in the game. Inside of those loot boxes are actual NFTs. So people don't have to purchase. There's no transactional approval. Like, we're dropping these into wallets like real time, all above board on both Apple App Store and Google Play Store.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, we've really just, I mean, our backgrounds is free to play mobile games, and you won't notice the difference when you come into this game than any other game that you've played before. And this is the biggest thing that we've been going for, is the user experience. Nice. From that side, just like as smooth as possible. You don't even need to tell people.
I love to hear it, and it's crazy seeing how the mobile Web3 scene is evolving. I actually played, what was it, Nitro Kart Racing, I think it was, from Mythical Games, and I was able to mint my car in-app. I did not have to go to a third-party website or anything. I was able to do an in-app purchase and mint a vehicle. Usually I have to go to a new website for that. So just seeing the way that mobile is evolving, and it actually seems like it's evolving faster than the Web3 PC and, well, obviously console's not there yet, but maybe one day scene, and that just blows my mind. Like, I'm so used to going to third-party websites to mint that just seeing it in the game, not having to do anything crazy. I don't have to set up any other wallet, because obviously Mythical's got their custodial wallet through the account sign in.
Yeah.
I'm happy. This is a good direction, in my opinion.
Yeah, we've actually had some players complain because they didn't think the transaction actually happened. So like through testing, they're like, it didn't work. It's like, no, I just looked. It's the NFT is in your account. Like, it's in your wallet.
They're so used to like going through the hoops, right?
Uh-huh.
Exactly. Like, it can't be this easy.
I mean, with all new things, we still have growing pains, though. There was one failed mint that I ran into, but I reached out to their support, provided the transaction information, and they had me set up in like a couple days, and they fixed it. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. So they can, I mean, with the blockchain, they can publicly see you did buy it, and they can see whether or not it went to your wallet. So
yeah,
I think this is a good thing. Definitely some good stuff cooking in the mobile department. I'm not a huge mobile gamer, but I do still dabble.
You dabble, yeah.
Exactly.
Don't we all?
He's a GM. He's a dabbler mobiler.
I don't know. To me with mobile, it's like if I'm on the couch or in the car, okay, I'll pull out my phone and I'll play some mobile games. But the problem is I'm an iOS user. So as you're probably all aware, I don't get all the releases. So sometimes I have to use an Android emulator, which means I have to sit down at my PC. Well, if I'm going to sit down at my PC and I have to choose between a mobile game or a PC game,
gotta go with the PC.
Yep.
I get it.
Still waiting on Zoid's Wild Arena or whatever to come to iOS. I'm disappointed. That's Ronin, isn't it? I think that's Ronin.
I've not played it.
Oh my God. Are you guys not Zoids fans? How old are you guys? Show my age maybe a little here. Anyway, so obviously big news this week, Bitcoin ETF approved. Now I'm a gamer, guys. I know that I'm hosting the show and I'm supposed to do my homework. I don't know what an ETF is. I don't know what this means for me as a consumer, other than we're getting some legitimacy with the U.S. government. We're probably going to start to see a little bit more clarity on regulation, I hope, fingers crossed. And this is overall a net gain, in my opinion.
Absolutely. I do know what an ETF is. It's an exchange traded fund.
Boom.
Yeah. It's an acronym, the end. No.
You can wrap it up now.
Yeah.
That's it. We're done.
So,
We solved it.
I mean, ultimately, it's just an equity, an asset that you can invest in that is a pool of other assets. And so rather than, let's say, I want to invest in electric vehicles, EVs, I can actually invest in an ETF that does that. And it has a portion of all the EV companies. And so I can just put my $10 into the EV ETF and I have exposure to the entire, Tesla and whoever. So the Bitcoin one is essentially doing that. And you have to have an accumulation of the actual asset itself. So some Bitcoin and then whatever other, I'm sure like micro strategies. But I think it's a first, it's a big leap. I think it'll be a slow roller and gain momentum, but like the foot is in the door. We're like at the party. Like there's no going back,
It's the first spot ETF that has been approved. So like before you had your futures, you had your trusts, but all of those things trade or to the discount or the premium of the NAV of the fund. So like if you want to invest, it's not really like exactly Bitcoin because your returns will diverge from the actual Bitcoin returns. So this is the first ever Bitcoin spot ETF, and this is like quite huge. But the community is divided in terms of the actual effect of it. Like no one really knows how much it will have the effect on the cryptocurrencies as a whole. We can see it today. Everything's pumping, number go up. It's great, but like the extent of that, who knows? But certainly great news, and the fact that Gary was the tiebreaker. Oh man.
We'll touch on that in a second, but real quick, we got a comment from Graslow. For those not familiar, he's building Oldor in the Web3 space as well as a return panelist for the show. And he said that the ETF means more people will have crypto bags, including politicians. So hopefully more people that will push back against crazy regulations. I agree. I want more regulations, but I want logical regulations. I don't want them to just be like, oh, crypto bad, ban it all. Like, no, that's not how this needs to go. But
having more clarity is always helpful. Good or bad, like just tell us. Don't leave us in the dark.
Definitely about the clarity, but also about just ETF in general, right? Having something like that will open up, like we'll talk about retail investors all the time, but I think it's just the confidence, the fact that people are more comfortable when they see an ETF versus, hey, do you want to invest in Bitcoin? Because like, no, Bitcoin, what are you talking about? I'm never going to see it. I don't even know what it is. You know what I mean? So at least an ETF, it's like, oh, it's there, but it's spread. So it's like spreading my wealth, spreading my investments. Okay. And it's real now because the government says it's real. So yeah, let's do it. So that's what you're going to get. We're going to get some people that are comfortable now investing into it. And yes, there are people on the fence that will it be good? Will it be bad? And I agree with Patrick. I think it's going to be more like going to be good and then kind of come down and then it's going to go up back again. I think we'll see. We'll see people come in and then come out.
You can't tell me that the regulations are just as volatile as crypto itself. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, come on.
Oh man, but speaking on the Gary Gensler tiebreaker vote, that was a surprise. That blew my mind that he voted in favor of it after the way that he has aggressively gone after multiple platforms. He has made a public appearance of being very anti-crypto, and then all of a sudden he's like, yeah, I'll approve this ETF. Where's your bags, Gary? Show me your wallet address.
I know.
Yeah, either. I mean, this is really like it, right? Because I mean, that's just like by the skin of his bald head, it got approved. But he was just kind of holding off. He was accumulating. He was filling those bags.
Yeah.
Oh, he filled them big because remember the SEC got hacked.
Oh my God!
And
yes.
all of a sudden we saw it dip. You know, he loaded up. He was ready. He wanted that to happen.
Have you seen the Rollbit screenshot? I'm not sure if it's yeah. I was like, that's Gary.
I must have missed that one. But
there was someone who plays like a huge leverage, like 1000x leverage on their 10k.
Yeah, it was a crazy like 20,000.
20k, right? 20k, and they made like 1 million one way and then 2 million the other way.
It was crazy.
Oh man!
Put it in like a gaming format, like a 2D, like player 1, Gary, like and it looked amazing. I'm like, wow, it's like a scoreboard.
I'm just saying, if they knew the SEC account was hacked, they had, I think the timeline showed probably around 15 minutes to load up their bags. Wallet, Gary, where were you? And show me your wallet address. Where were you, Gary? That's a 15-minute window. I can buy crypto very fast.
In crypto time, 15 minutes is a long time. But to like regular people, they're like, 15 minutes? I went to the bathroom. Like, what are you talking about?
I don't know, man. With the platforms that we have nowadays, I can make a crypto transaction very fast. Right before this show, I cashed out 500 from Polygon. I'm just saying. Something doesn't sit right with me. I do think that I know that the safety team from Twitter investigated. They found that there wasn't 2FA on the account, and this was supposedly done through some platform. From my understanding, I believe there was like some third-party like communication website that they were using, and somebody spun up a fake account as Gary to get the login information. And if this is true, well, there's a few problems there. One, 2FA, Gary, you're the one that told us to use 2FA. Where's yours? Fix your crap. And then the second thing that I just lost my train of thought on.
Yeah. There's
where to go?
Ways, so you have
share the profits.
Yeah,
share the wealth. At least DM me and let me know that you're going to do this, so I can be in on the knowledge. I'm just saying, I want to be ready myself. But no, it was the 2FA, and then the fact that this communication platform they're using, there's obviously no user verification system in place. Like usually, especially government agency that's using a communication platform like this, they usually ask you for like government ID, driver's license, something like that to prove you are who you say you are. So that kind of scares me that a government agency is using a communications platform that does not do user verification in any form or fashion, apparently. That should be a red flag. I don't think the SEC should be worried about protecting us. They need to worry about protecting themselves first and let us worry about protecting ourselves, because it seems like we're doing a better job for the most part.
Yeah.
For the most part. I'm not saying we're perfect. Oh, man. But it has rallied the market, though. I mean, everything seems to be going up. This is good news. Web3 games are popping up left and right. We're starting to see more and more people promote their game, whether they're ready or not. The mixed bag here, in my opinion. I mean, I love to see more games coming to the space, but I like to see more legitimate games coming to the space, and not everything thus far has been that way. So,
no, I hear that. I think one thing that I've seen, like what you said, is more games are coming and exposing themselves in terms of a good way, and saying that, hey, we're building something, and be part of our community. And a lot of those games, and as we know, a lot of the games that are coming out sooner rather than later, right? And some of them are great games, some of them are like, okay, they're okay games, but I think we needed this momentum to at least show that we have something that we're doing, that we have been building for the last 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, because if not, then you're like, what have you been doing, right? And even if it's like just a little, like a sliver of what you have, and just showing your IP and your brand goes a long way, right? But I do agree. If you have a crappy game and you're saying that this is the next AAA, we got to pump our brakes a little bit, because we might get wrecked.
Man, everyone trying to claim that they're AAA this or AAA that, and it's just like you're You're not spending $100 million on anything. Like, come on. Like,
What do you mean? Look at the other side. That's totally $100 million game project, right? I mean, AAA definitely means 10 frames per second.
Fully
I'm
diluted
sorry, I had to
value
go
of
there.
the-
That trailer this week was so bad.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Yuga, what are you doing, BB?
You seen Gordon jumping on that immediately. I was like, no. They didn't mean to upload this. Just wait a little bit. It just didn't render properly. I mean,
No,
it could be true,
so-
but who knows?
I think it was like their director or marketing or something like that. I forgot who it was. It was one of the apes jumped in and said, "Oh, thank Ellen. It's a Twitter problem." And I clapped back with like, "It's not a Twitter problem when it's a frame rate issue. It's a Twitter problem when it's a quality issue. The compression does not kill your frame rate." And he's been silent. And somebody even asked him, "Okay, well, if it's legit, then release it on YouTube then." And I haven't seen it released on YouTube, so I think I was right.
I mean, it's crazy that you wouldn't put it on YouTube first and then, drop the link in Twitter, like every other trailer ever.
Got
That's
him.
why they dumped.
No, I think that the tech that they're building to accomplish this is phenomenal. To have so many players in one place in one location is great. So I definitely give them kudos on the technology side of things. But in terms of the game itself, every single test that I have seen people like Bryson and Jonah and them stream, every single trailer I've seen come out, everything that I've seen from an actual game perspective is just not appealing to me. It really isn't. And I hope that they can correct that and eventually drop something that I'm like, oh, dang, I want to be in the next playtest, right? But so far, it's just missing the mark. So we'll see what they do. But I that trailer just, that was rough. I mean, I'm just saying, I've been playing Lethal Company. It's made by a single developer who was a Roblox developer, mind you. So this is probably some kid in his parents' basement or something. And that game is phenomenal. It's so much fun. You've got mod support. I don't need Web3 or any of that. And it's just an enjoyable game, right? That's what we should be focusing on, is bringing those experiences that players want to jump into and play with their friends, and add Web3 as an option. Like, it's a value add. We're not reinventing the wheel with gaming. We're just like evolving gaming, right?
I mean, that's exactly it. The blockchain aspect is something that you like, that's part of the tech stack. No one else is trying to highlight other pieces of tech that they're using. It's got to be a good game first.
Right.
It's funny that you talk about Lethal Company, because damn, I think if you just look at the ratings on Steam, isn't this game like 10 out of 10 by like hundreds of thousands of users? Last time I saw this, it was something crazy. It was like...
It is very fun. There's procedural generation, so every time you go into the map, you're going to have a different dungeon layout that you have to crawl through, avoid enemies and stuff like that.
Generation.
Oh, dude, the mods are freaking insane. We added a mod called Skinwalkers, and it allows certain enemy types, because there's proximity chat, right? What the mod does is it will record your proximity chat and utilize it for enemies to play back your voice to other players nearby. So they might think they're running over to you, and they're actually running to an enemy.
Oh my
like
God.
The stuff that this game is capable of is absolutely insane. They've got like VSTs applied to the proximity chat. So if you're in a closed, narrow hallway, you do have that echo going. If you're in a big open, like there's one map where there's like a big ravine, like you're in between a bunch of mountains, you can hear the echo. Like, it is super cool. And it's made by a single developer who used to build in Roblox.
It's crazy.
And he's sold over 10 million copies already.
Yeah, that's,
at $10 a pop.
Damn.
Yeah,
Yes.
I just checked. I wasn't aware of this game, but I googled this, and I recall that I saw it on the there is a annual Steam Awards thing. I don't remember what the category for this game was, but it was certainly in more than one. And I was like, wow, this looks lame from the graphics standpoint. But like, after you've described this to me, it's insane. And I'm just checking this out, and it's like 10 out of 10, 230K reviews and $10. It's insane.
That's what I'm saying.
Deal of the century, $10. Like, with this much acclaim, like,
I'm buying it.
But that's what I'm trying to tell people is you don't need to have ray tracing, 4K, 400 FPS, super high detailed graphics. You just need fun gameplay. And indie developers consistently remind us of this. Undertale, Stardew Valley, Among Us, like these games are very low budget, super small dev teams, and they end up becoming absolutely some of the most popular entries that we've seen in gaming just because they're fun and enjoyable and people like the story and the worlds and stuff that people are building. Yeah. And in Web3, this is kind of I call it a gotcha, but name a notable character in Web3. Because I can tell you right now, I can name Master Chief, I can name Ghost, Soap, Price, I can name Mario, Zelda, Link.
Yeah,
exactly.
but these have had time, right?
Yeah.
I think we're really going into like a second iteration of gaming, very much like we did in mobile, right? Like a lot of people don't even remember the early days of mobile. Rage of Bahamut was the #1 game on iOS and Google Play for like almost 2 years.
Wow.
And then we had like, here's some old, like Puzzles and Dragons like blew up.
So here's the thing.
This is like 2013.
So here's the thing. It's very genre dependent, but we have a lot of games in our space that build these worlds with no narrative, no story, notable characters. When you think about the characters in the game, a lot of them are player characters that have no name other than what we give them. And that's what's kind of leading to this is like Big Time, for example. It's an MMORPG. You would think that there is a strong story and good world building, but the only character I can name from there is Einstein because it's the only character I can relate to in the real world. The rest of the story, I don't know what the heck's going on. I don't know who's the big shebang, but I go into World of Warcraft. I know Thrall, I know Janna, I know Arthas. I can start naming characters. I can tell you the entire backstory for almost every expansion, and it's because the storytelling is very strong. Now, in a game like Rogue Nation, for example, storytelling doesn't necessarily apply. You're a roguelike, right? So I think of other roguelikes. Like Gunfire
Reborn.
Have
like pretty deep narrative elements because we want to create a world where players kind of control and experience that emergence, right? Because I think this is one of the coolest thing about blockchain is that it really lends well to more emergent gameplay and emergent experiences. And so when you start to tie narrative, gameplay, progression, all these things together and allow players to just experience the game in new ways and figure out ways that other players haven't done before. I think this is what's exciting. But I totally agree. And, like even looking at Big Time from a story aspect, I mean, comparing anything to a Blizzard game though, like this is pretty tough, right? Like
it is, but we had Metapixel before, parent studio shut them down. And Metapixel was another Web3 MMO. They actually did have a story and they started you with the story. Like there was no grinding or anything involved. It just dropped you right at the beginning. Here's the narrative. Let's start you off with the cutscene. Let's go ahead and walk you through some NPC dialogue that explains how you got here, what's going on. And it attaches me to that world. And I wanted to play more. I put down World of Warcraft for a solid 2 weeks to play Metapixel during their final play test. Like no other Web3 game has made me put down World of Warcraft like that. So it can be done 100%. It's just going to take time. And I think it's very genre dependent, like I said earlier, because if you're building a BR, what's the benefit of a narrative in a BR, right? There really isn't one. Most people just want to come out #1. But Call of Duty, do you think the multiplayer and the Battle Royale would be where it's at today if they hadn't had their early iterations of very heavy narrative, very story-driven games? I don't think that would have been the case. I don't think the franchise would be where it was today if it weren't for those stories to pull people into the franchise and keep them over the years.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Call of Duty, I actually didn't get into Call of Duty until the zombies, which was the Nazi zombies, which is way back. But the reason why I got into that, and this is the beauty of the whole storytelling and community, right? When I got into it, you play the game and you're like, oh, I'm a soldier, I'm going to do my mission. That's great. But when you're like dropped into a map where you have one, and then you start off with one unless you get like three other people, right, with you in that same map. That's when it becomes fun because you're trying to survive in this map area where a horde of zombies, level 1, 5 or 6 zombies, level 2, double, and then all of a sudden I get to level 30. And it's getting crazy. You know what I mean? We're running left and right, throwing monkeys. Here, monkeys, trying to put like the little lasers.
But even Zombies has its own little story and Easter eggs and stuff, though.
Easter eggs. And then the people that you're playing with have like little mentions, like little like blurb.
Dialogue.
Yeah, dialogue. And when they say it, you're like, what the hell does that mean? And you're like, You're kind of like, you're confused because he goes, take that, you rascal. And I'm like, why does it call him rascal? Can it be somebody else, So that's when I mean about, I agree with the storytelling, the fact that you're bringing community into it, the fact that you're making it fun. Because I literally, man, my mom would be like, you got a final tomorrow. What the hell are you doing up at 3 o'clock in the morning? I'm like, I'm almost done. Get out of here. We're on level 30.
I do want to shift the perspective on this conversation a little bit because I am approaching this as a gamer and consumer. Obviously, being in Web3, we have a different audience than I might be personally accustomed to. You guys are all builders in the space. So when it comes to the building process and rolling out, not just games, but in general, are you focusing on what the community is asking for? Are you focusing on like the financial systems because that seems to be the most in demand? Like where does your focus come from? Is it the community or just you stick to your roadmap?
From a gaming perspective, community is important, but what they say and what they do in the game, as long as you have tracking so you can validate what, because you'll get a lot of comments about things, but then you go look at someone's play patterns and it's totally like the opposite of what you would expect for someone to they keep complaining about this one specific thing, but it's because they're playing so much of that. It's like this old story about World War II and the airplanes that kept coming back. And they were trying to figure out where to put the armor, right? Like in the body of the plane or the wings of the plane. And
I remember that.
And they were thinking, but when the airplanes come back, they have all these holes in the wings. And one of the guys was like, yeah, but they're the ones that come back. So maybe we want to put the armor in the fuselage, right? It started saving planes. So there's a lot of this kind of confirmation bias. If you listen too much to the community, you just want to, certainly understand where they're coming from, but validate that through data. On top of that though, to your question about what systems or how to approach what you're putting in the game. What we were talking about earlier, why would you put out a subpar product if you're games are competing with games? Very few people, I hope, are trying to make a game and only market it to a Web3 audience, because there's 3.7 billion gamers and there's 1 to 2 million Web3 gamers. I hope you're going for the one that is so massive that it really pales in comparison when you look at Web3 gaming. So I would hope that people are just trying to really put it in perspective, okay, what kind of product can I put out for what phase of my production timeline looks like, and what is the direction we're trying to go towards, especially when comparing to the other options that these players have.
That makes sense. I am a bit curious because I know Naz and Ruiz, they're actually, or Ryu's, God, I had it and then I lost it again.
Just say it right.
Yeah, you're doing it,
Right.
Man, I'm trying not to just call him Rice, but I might have to. But you guys are building non-games, so I'm more interested to kind of figure out how you guys are following this process, because you do tie into gaming a little bit. Obviously, people are going to be using your platforms for their games, but are you guys like listening to the developers and trying to cater to what they're asking to see, or do you guys kind of say, hey, here's our feature set, this is what you can use, and we might get to extra stuff later? Like, how are you guys handling it as well?
I'll let Nas go first since I've been talking away. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. So we are not a very early company, so to say. We've started a very long time ago in the crypto time metrics. We've started about 3 years ago. Back then, like there was no Bored Apes, there was nothing. It was CryptoPunks, but like there was no craze about NFTs at all. We looked at the compound, and there was like, you know, lending, borrowing of your ERC20 tokens. We wanted to do something similar, and we noticed that there's nothing like that for NFTs, but in the sense of the use case themselves. So like, you know, maybe you want to try out some sort of a Web3 game, but I don't want to pay $1,000 to try it out. You know, this isn't what happens in the real world. Like, you can buy a proper AAA game for anywhere from $50 to $100, and you're sorted. You aren't gonna pay $1,000 in a good case to try out a game. That's a problem, but that actually wasn't the case back then. We just had a vision that, you know, sometime in the future, hopefully there will be Web3 games that have this amazing mechanics on top of the great experiences that we are all familiar with games, where you actually own the assets that you play with. So that was our vision, but we had to test it, and the way that we've tested this idea was through hackathons. We enrolled into as many hackathons as we could, and it gained traction. We've started winning quite a lot of them, and we thought, okay, maybe there is something in this, and that is when we started thinking about how do we actually properly implement truly proper NFT rentals in the sense that I'm describing. We've went through a couple of iterations. The first one was, you know, pay the collateral. This is like the simplest. On the one side, there is someone with the NFT. On the other side, there is someone who wants to rent the thing. Okay, if my Kong or whatever costs 5 ETH, I'm gonna pay 5 ETH to this lender. They will give me their Kong. If I do not return the Kong, they will get back their 5 ETH. Everyone is happy, sort of, kind of, because, you know, NFTs are all unique. So maybe not happy, but whatever. At least they've tried the thing. That's worst case. You know, best case is they actually return the thing and they get back their collateral. But that was the first iteration, and you know, people started saying, okay, this is great, we can try out your NFTs, but like, what's the point in this? Like, shouldn't the point of rentals be that I try out the asset at a very low cost kind of entry point? And it's like, okay, yeah, sure. So the next iteration is let's have a registry on chain. You know, the NFT goes into the escrow. It sits there. It doesn't go anywhere. It just sits in the escrow to make sure that it is not rented by anyone else. And you know, there is a renter on the other side. And the only thing that they have to pay for is the price, the daily price that the lender have set for them. So like now they only have to pay, you know, if I want to earn 0.1 ETH per day on that Kong for rentals, sure, no worries. But the problem here is that you have to integrate with the project, right? So if it's like Rumble Kongs, we need to make sure that they respect our on-chain registry, and that takes negotiation. You know, that means that you have to implement some checks. You have to call our API to see what is rented. You know, when is the expiry date? Blah blah blah, and that's, you know, challenging for people. They don't want to do that. Like, they want to do as little as possible. Like if you give them the benefits and no work at all, sure, that's like a no-brainer. They will do that. It's like no problem. Like you don't even have to approach them for that, essentially. And that is where our final iteration is at. We use a combination of smart contract accounts with highly optimized assembly written C port for order matching. Those two combined is what we use to allow for both collateral-free EVM rentals. So, like, there is no need for registries. There is no need for collateral. I have a highly valuable NFT, 1,000 ETH. I want to lend it out. I signed this little thing on our front end, which is a seaport order. The thing goes into our database. It shows up on our DApp as it's available to rent. And then on the other side, there is a renter. They want to rent this thing. They come in, they rent this thing, and they do not have to pay any collateral at all. Whatever was the price that the lender has set per day, whatever, for the whole duration of the rental, they only pay that. That's insane. Because now you truly have like NFT use case unlock. It goes into their smart contract wallet that we create with Gnosis Safe, where we guard that they do not take this thing out anywhere. Like they cannot sell it, they cannot move it, nothing like that. There is an app that gives them the benefits of this NFT. They go there and they use it, the renter, as if it's their own. It has not been done before, and I'm very excited about it. So our to answer your question, for us it was always the vision that we saw 3 years ago about someone needs to unlock the actual use cases, and that drove us all these 3 years. We've been iterating on this idea with a very small team. Shout out to everyone at ReNFT. Like it's insane what we've accomplished in these past 6 months with this, with such a small team. I'm very proud of everyone at ReNFT. Yeah, so for us it was a vision, and obviously it proved the kind of the need for this as well with Dukedash, with other side, with people actually using NFTs outside of just like pumping and dumping. So it's just like when we started, there was nothing like this. When we are here, people actually use NFTs for something, and that's very exciting.
Did you want to add something, Rice?
There you go. Yeah.
So I'm so bad with names, so I'm just gonna stick with the nickname.
You're good. So I'm cool with Rice or Rice-alicious. It's all good. That's my Telegram.
Rice-alicious. Wow.
So hit me up on Telegram, so it's easy. So before I was at Magic, I was at Immutable. And at Immutable, as you know, L2, making sure that we're helping Web3 games build properly and have their have the infrastructure layer ready to go. So so when I came to Magic, and the reason why I came to Magic is because Magic and Immutable have a strong partnership. So I don't know if you're aware, or the audience is aware, the Immutable Passport and Magic are collaborated to build that tech. So yeah,
it is Passport. Like this is come on, let's be real.
All right. Well, again, white label. We're not
exactly.
All right. So because of that, what we do at Magic is really help to make that onboarding easy. Mobile games, PC games. We know the struggles when it comes to somebody that wants to play game. We're all gamers, right? We want to get in. start playing the game and not have to, like what Nas said, not have to worry about, oh man, this is taking forever. I don't even know what to do. Or I need an NFT to play this game, or I need to connect my wallet. Man, that's too much frustration. We want to play the game. We want to get started. I only have 5 minutes. I got to eat lunch. I got to go back and go to work. I want to play my game real quick because I have that itch and I want to get going. So with Magic, that's what we really do, man. It's like we listen to what people want. We listen to developers. They said, hey, help us so that our users can come in to start playing these games, or loyalties, get memberships, NFTs, and they're able to unlock it, whatever it is. But you need a place for that. And that's where the wallet comes in. That's when we're saying, okay, grab all the assets that you have, put it into this. We're a non-custodial wallet. What does that mean? It means that we don't have any say or see your seed phrases or anything of that. We want to make sure that we're compliant. That's why we're GDPR, we're SOC 2 Type 2. And we can do 2,000 wallets per second. That's a lot of wallets. And that's one of the reasons why Immutable chose this, is because, hey, man, that's a lot of wallet. And I don't know if we're going to get that, but when we do get it, man, we're going to make sure it doesn't break down. You know what I mean? That's people's livelihood. I mean, think about it. How many hours do we spend on video games and playing away? Or how many times, I really want that NFT. I waited. I was on the white list, and now I'm here, and I got into the ground floor. I've been waiting 12 months, 6 months, whatever it is. And then you have it. And all of a sudden, it's because bad actors came in and just grabbed everything from you. So security is top of mind for Magic. We listen to the developers. We listen to them by asking, okay, how do we get players in? How do we get our users to start using our tech? Right? We're partnered with Mattel. We're partnered with Macy's. We're partnered with 7-Eleven. We're partnered with Starbucks. You name it, some of the big names out there that we're partnered with. Not a lot of people know, but hopefully now they will, because they see this video.
But no, I think this is like the absolute perfect way that a tool or infrastructure provider should be approaching this. Just the same way as someone that is building a user-facing product shouldn't be telling everybody, oh, actually, hey, look, we have Magic Wallet, right? They shouldn't even know that it exists. They're just, oh, I put in my email. Oh, cool. I get to go. Here we go. I'm playing a game. So it's almost one of those counterintuitive good signs that not everyone knows, because if everyone knows, it's probably not a great thing. They shouldn't be talking about the underlying tech, because if it's a great experience, it's a great experience.
Yeah.
That's very true. Whenever I sign into my games, whether it be through Steam, Epic, Battle.net, whatever the case is, I don't care what I'm signing into. I just know I have an account and I log in and I get to play my games.
Right. Yeah. But you're confident that that's secure. You're confident when you come back, all your assets are going to be there, and it's an easy sign. And in fact, it's also not only that, but you have control of it. So that's the thing, right? I mean, of course, when it's not Web3, you don't have control of it. But when it's Web3, you have more control of it. It's data sovereignty and having the ability to extract those assets when you want to.
So you nailed something. Hang on, he nailed something I want to follow up on, and that's security. So whenever I use my Google account to sign into these Web3 games, I feel confident doing so because I have 2FA on my account. Where's our 2FA for wallets? Why do we not have a wallet where I can authenticate? Our wallets are so insecure. Anybody gets that little seed phrase, guess what? You're done. There's no extra security. That's it. The only security is making sure nobody gets your seed phrase. Where's the 2FA for wallets? I'm just saying, if you're a builder, I'm an idea guy.
Yeah.
There kind of is. That's what we're using our solution for rentals. Gnosis Safe is incredibly amazing for that. You just create a multi-sig. It can be 2 of 3, right? And 2 of the EOAs, private keys wallets, is yours. So if someone compromises one of your private keys, that does not mean that they will be able to steal your crypto, because you have a multi-sig. They need at least one more, and that's what makes it very safe. A lot of people are safeguarding their NFTs, etc. in
they keep all 3 seed phrases together in their wallet.
Look, I to date have not revealed how I store my seed phrases, But let's just say I feel confident. I'm doing a fantastic job. I have not been compromised. I've been in Web3 for 2 years. I've clicked on a lot of links, some bad, some not so bad, thankfully. But I definitely rely on the cloud in a way. I say in a way because it's not as simple as just getting access to my cloud. I have multiple clouds, and the decryption key is stored separately from my actual seed phrases. So the only way for somebody to actually get my seed phrases, they have to compromise multiple emails tied to multiple clouds that are all secured behind 2FA. I wish whoever can do that, good luck. I worked in security for many years. I feel confident. However, if somebody can prove me wrong, I'll eat the L to be proven wrong. But there are ways for us to do it ourselves, but not everybody has the security knowledge that I do. So your average everyday user, what do they typically do? Save it in a notepad, put it on their desktop, or write it down on a sticky note and then lose it. Like the average user right now is not going to thrive in Web3. We're dealing essentially with the early days of email when everybody was getting that, I'm a Nigerian prince and here's your inheritance, send me money. And people fall for that. And they're going to fall into the same exact similar traps. In Web3.
This is kind of what account abstraction is. I wouldn't say combating, but like at least for the onboarding aspect of things, I guess it is less secure if you're doing it properly. But as you said, like, if my dad was to open up, a MetaMask and like start a wallet, like guaranteed seed phrase gone, like it's never getting written down, right? It's like,
they'll ask you, how do I get back in here? We're like, I don't know.
Exactly. And then
there actually was a game. There was a game. I didn't realize it set up a wallet that had to keep track of a seed phrase because I never saw a seed phrase pop up. And now I cannot transfer the assets I own for that game to my wallet because one, I don't know how I'm going to get it back out. You're supposed to import it into MetaMask and yada, yada. Well, how do I do that without my seed phrase? So now there's a game I can't even technically use my assets in because there's no recovery option. There was no big prompt saying write these down. There was nothing.
That's funny.
You think it's funny, but I'm sitting over here like, well, do I just go ahead and liquidate?
It's funny how they thought about that game to make it. This is not fun. Is this a game that's supposed to be fun, or it's a game that's like making me?
Well, but you know what?
Well,
on the flip side, you see someone
wallet
like Ledger that actually offers a service of like, hey, we can technically store your seed phrase for you. Yeah, exactly. But I trust me more than I trust Ledger. I'm sorry. If Microsoft is getting hacked, if PlayStation's getting hacked, if Apple's getting hacked, these random Web3 companies, they're going to get hacked. And the last thing I'm going to do is have a service like that with all of my seed phrases in a centralized location. I love my Ledger. And I think what Ledger's doing is fantastic. But that service, anybody paying for that, you are setting yourself up for failure.
That's great.
I'm not a fan, but like if it was, I think there's a certain demographic that they're going after, like a certain profile.
We could say that, but I don't know. But I like the concept of rentals. I'm going to touch on that for a second because I don't think we really talk about re-NFT and rentals enough, especially considering this show is sponsored by re-NFT. But like we were in a space one day, and people were asking, well, why would I rent an NFT whenever I could just buy it, or why would I continue renting when I could just earn enough and then buy it outright anyway? And I used World of Warcraft as a comparison because a lot of people don't know this, but in my opinion, World of Warcraft is Web3 light. For those that aren't aware, they actually have their own token, fluctuates with price, supply, demand, all that. So, it's crazy how that works. You can even redeem it for in-store credit. So there is a pseudo play to earn system. But raids, I do a lot of raiding. These raids typically consist of anywhere from 10 to 30 people. Those people don't always have the gear to stay up there with us, right? Well, Blizzard has it set up in such a way that once I pick up a piece of gear, that's bound to me. I can't do anything with it. I can't sell it. I can't trade it. I can't do anything. With a rental system in place, if somebody doesn't have enough gear, I could be like, hey, man, for tonight, I'll let you borrow my character's gear. Just throw me a kickback or whatever. And that way you can jump in, you'll be able to stay and hang with the rest of the big dogs, right? So that's just one small example, but there are so many different applications for rentals, like lands. Lands are a big one right now because they tend to be a generative source. So people want to make profit. They're going to rent this land, make profit with that land. And then at that point, they can either, like I was saying earlier, choose to go out and buy their own land or just continue renting if it's more affordable and still profitable, you know? So there's a lot of systems in place that I think that rentals would really benefit. I'm curious if Magic could find a way to work with rentals so that way I don't have to transfer my assets out of my Magic wallet and into my MetaMask in order to do this.
I see what you did there, and I like it. I like what your head is thinking.
I told you I'm an idea guy.
I know.
Let's work together.
I just saw it spinning already, man. I was like, I saw the little wheel, and I'm like, oh, okay, I know he's gonna. Maybe we need some animation when you start thinking. It's like.
So we did get a comment. I hope Mega Weapon will have rentable players. Well, I'm just gonna throw this out there. We over here at ReNFT have actually worked with Mega Weapon. We hosted a tournament in December, and I'm not ruling that out as a possibility, but that's kind of on them. I'm just saying.
I mean, honestly, if you're going to have a clan system, another exciting aspect of Web3 games, giving the autonomy to the clan to create their own, in-game systems of, whether you're staking, renting, if you have like mint burn systems, like game developers can make the autonomy and Web3 aspects of clan creation, management, all of these things, and gamify it using a lot of the principles of blockchain in rentals and all of these things. And like, man, it's going to be fucking cool in like a couple years when games like really start doing this. But it's something that we're really excited about as well.
Naz, so real quick, I'm actually curious if somebody wanted to work with ReNFT and get their assets listed, or in the case of Magic, maybe they want to find a way to integrate their systems. Who do they need to reach out to, or what do they need to do? What's that process look like?
Honestly, it's as I said, it's so it's integration free as well, which means that this supports any asset out of the box as long as it's EVM. Chain. So we are going to start off with Ethereum, Polygon, Avalanche. Maybe we'll throw some other EVM chains in there. Depends. There's no need for integrations at all. But if you would like something custom on top, then we have built in the functionality for that as well through our hook technology. So on every transaction that comes off out of your smart contract wallet that we'll create for you, we are able to customize the logic of what happens. So for example, you can have reward share easily with that, where your rewards accumulate per block. So when you list your asset, I'll give the example of Castle Crush, since we have a lot of rentals with this game on Avalanche, upwards of 200,000 rentals so far on Avalanche. On our current V2 iteration, it's not even V3, and it allows for reward share with this game. So say you have a card like an archer or whatever, and you say, let's split our rewards 50-50 because they pay the Castle Crush pays the ACS, their token rewards for when you play these matches, and say, let's say it's 50-50, right? So you don't do anything, you own the card. Like maybe you're a flipper, right? Like there are different demographics in Web3. You could have bought a bunch of assets and you just like stockpile them, but you don't play the game. So you lend them out. You say it's 50-50, and then there are other guys that are out there playing this game, and you get passively 50% on top. So what we have with our technology in V3 with Hook, it's not just reward share. You can easily implement this, no problem at all. But it's like any kind of logic that you would like to implement on chain, no problem at all. Maybe it's, for example, as Patrick was saying, you can have guilds and you can implement like hierarchy of hooks, which is like, oh, are you like this rank in the guild or whatever? You can do that. If you're not this rank, you cannot run this thing. So like we're only gonna lend out these assets to our top players in the guild or whatever, and you will have favorable terms, favorable reward share terms, etc. It's like it's up to you how you want to implement these hooks, and we're happy to help originally, because obviously we are most knowledgeable about what we wrote here, so we can help you with implementation. We whitelist this hook, and when people actually list the assets, no worries at all. You pick this hook, you run this asset, and boom, you have this built into the mechanics of rentals.
I'm muted over here. So that's kind of nifty. So realistically, there's not a whole lot of lift from the developer side then, unless they want something adjusted.
There's zero lift from the developer.
Music to the ears.
Oh man, so we are past the top of the hour. I know you guys are probably super busy. Was there any final thoughts or any topics you wanted to discuss on? Otherwise, I was just going to open it up for you guys to kind of talk about your projects and pitch what you're building. No? Okay. Well, Rice, you want to pitch us? Give us your elevator pitch.
Yeah. Well, I just want to say, man, first off, thank you so much for allowing me to be here to hang out with you guys. It's always fun to be on such a show, but at the same time, it's even more fun when you get to see faces. And we should definitely in IRL, because sometimes it's better like we're like kind of jabbing at each other, because I'm jabbing somebody and there's nobody here. I'm like, where's Naz? I mean, you're on my right, and then where's Patrick? I can't even see you. You know what I mean? So, but definitely this has been a blast. I'd love to come on again and talk more with you guys and just hang out. But really, if you guys want to know more about Magic and what we do, go to magic.link. So pretty easy. And you can, see all of the fun stuff that we're doing, whether it's our dedicated wallet, our NFT checkout, or NFT minting. But you can read use cases, or use case with Mattel. The fact I'm on LinkedIn, and I know people are like, why aren't you on Twitter more? I'm like, I'm more of a LinkedIn guy because, I was at Web2 and I was at a SaaS company. So that's how my following. So I post every day. And it's funny. People would ask me, so what do you post about? I'm like I have like a rhythm, right? I'll share you real quick. Give some alpha to the youngins out there that wants to post something. But on Mondays, I call it Magic Mondays, right? Talk about magic. On Tuesdays, I say Training Tuesdays, whether it's my failures or failures of others that I've seen, or learnings, I should say, not failures, but learnings from others, or even like trainings about like sales, partnerships, whatever it is, or even product. And then Wednesday, like today, I talk Web3. Yesterday, Web3 Wednesday, something about Web3, right? And I talked about immutable passport. Today, it's thought leader, thought provoking, things, right? So I had, Yatsu's quote about, digital sovereignty and digital assets. So from Animoca Brands, I put that up there. So if you want to follow me, it's really easy. It's just my name, RIUSCHUA. On LinkedIn. But yeah, check us out, magic.link. Love to support anybody out there, developers out there that are looking for a non-custodial wallet that's secure and like Patrick said, hey, music to our ears. Developers don't have to do too much. We have it. BK ready to go. Boom. So we work with Unity mobile, Unity web browser, and we're going to be at GDC. We're going to be at ETH Denver. We're going to be at shows. Yeah. And hit me up, Rice at Telegram, Ricealicious.
Of course.
Of course, right? I'm snackable, you know what I mean? I'm digestible, Hey, you know what? A quick story I want to tell you. So when I introduced myself to my then ex-girlfriend, now my wife, right? I said, hey, do you like rice? And she goes, oh, of course, she's Asian too. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'm like, you like brown rice. You know what I mean? So
Oh my gosh.
that's it right there. That's the deal, bro. So
Deal
yes.
breaker.
Yo, but for real, don't sleep on LinkedIn. I applied for a Blizzard job today, and guess what was on the application? Your LinkedIn URL. Guess what I don't have? Well, I have one, but guess what? Guess who hasn't set anything up?
Yeah. Well,
My bad.
I appreciate you guys, and I look forward to continuing this connection and conversation. Go ahead, team.
Sounds good. So Naz, elevator pitch, final thoughts. Let's go.
Oh man, I feel like I'm the one that has tried the hardest to sell every NFT during this podcast. So I'm not sure I should do any more of that.
But you also got RKL. You're not just re-NFT.
Yeah, true. I'll just for NFT, I'll just say it's like collateral free, permissionless EVM NFT rentals. That's all. There's like a lot of stuff that I already said. It's been an honor being on this podcast. I really enjoyed it. Hopefully we get to get together again in the future. This was a blast. I wish we could meet in person at some point. And thank you so much.
Actually, to that point, I might be. Nothing confirmed yet. I might be at ETH Denver. So, Rice, we might have to link up.
Let's go.
And Naz, I'm just saying, if we need some re-NFT representation, I live in Colorado. That's why I usually go to ETH Denver. So,
let's do it. Let's do it.
All right. Last but not least, we have Patrick. Elevator pitch. Go.
Woo! Yeah, so already talked a bit about Rogue Nation. You can download it, play it right now. It's Google Play and App Store. PC version will be coming soon. New cosmetic line coming out. All sorts of stuff to put on the characters and our storefront. So, lots of free daily chests and all that stuff. So check it out. We were running tournaments, tons of giveaways. You can always follow us on Twitter at Moonlit Games and jump into Discord and start chatting with other players. Outside of that, yeah, always a pleasure being here. Love you guys. Man, I'll see you at GDC, Rius and Naz. We definitely need to chat about rentals.
I was about to say, before we wrap it up, I got a comment from the chat. Yo, Patrick, win rentals.
Yay! They know.
They do. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. That's going to be the end of another exhilarating episode of the Block Sauce. Sadly, we have to say farewell, but before we go, I just want to give a big thank you to Patrick, Rice, and Naz for joining us today. I appreciate you guys taking time out of your day to join us and shed a little bit of light and insights on the current ongoings within the space. But of course, we couldn't have done it without all of our amazing viewers and supporters. You guys fuel our passion to bring you the most engaging and thought-provoking conversations week after week. Remember, the sauce never stops flowing. Follow us on social media, and if you don't see it, you're blind because there's a big flashing link to our website. Yes, Block Sauce has a website. Go check it out. It's really cool. I like it. We got some new assets and stuff coming down the pipes. This is going to be freaking great. I love it. But that's going to be it for us today, sauce enthusiasts. Join us next time for another thrilling episode of The Block Sauce, where we'll keep the gaming flame alive and the discussion sizzling. Stay saucy and keep gaming in the exciting realm of Web3. Have a good one.